Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us and indeed for your patience. Okay, so without further ado, our guest is Honorable Chris Okaiben. He's a former member of the Edo State House of Assembly. And I say that by way of, introducing the topic, which is the Edo governorship election, an overview. Good morning to you, Honorable Chris Okaiben.
Good morning, Yuri. How are you doing? And
Very well, thank
how's
you.
the night?
Very well, thank you.
Good morning, Nigerians.
Yeah. Okay. As you know, the election is over in Edo. A winner has been declared by INEC, the constituted body able to do so. And there has been a lot of commentary, both good and bad. On the one hand, neither of the two runners up to the winner, Senator Monday Okpebolo, agree that the election was free and fair. But a lot of other commentators have said that there was nothing wrong with that election, which is not to say that it was perfect. Any election cannot really be said to be perfect. The United States has congratulated Nigeria on the conduct of that election, urging Nigeria to keep up the tempo. The Nigerian Bar Association has also said that the election it went well, despite reports here and there of some challenges. But overall, it went well. So is this to be expected? Because as I was saying yesterday on the program, I don't think any Nigerian has heard it from an opposition member to congratulate the winner, say, well, congratulations, let's go. Instead, it is the APC now who is saying that its own candidate should be moderate in victory, see how it can bring everybody together so we can also work together. But there are so many complaints. This is to be expected?
Yeah, for me, Yuri, let me first of all congratulate INEC and also the Inspector General of Police for a hitch-free election. I dare to say that they've done exceedingly well. Like you have confirmed, that even the United States have said this election was devoid of any violence, and against the assumption and even the prediction of even the sitting governor, who predicted and threatened that the election was going to be a do or die affair. Thankfully to God, God arrested all of those threats. Edo is peaceful, and throughout the election it was peaceful. It's expected, my dear brother, I can tell you. That's why Jonathan remains a hero. He was one president who did an election and congratulated President Muhammad Buhari. I have expected till now, as you are aware, the opposition at the federal level, the PDP candidate then as it was in the presidential election, refused to congratulate President Bola Ahmed Tinubu till today. So it's in their DNA. And as you can also recall, the outgoing governor and his godson, who just contested his last election, are also products and allies of the former vice president. So the probably was advised not to congratulate us, but that's not an issue. Those people have moved past that. Like you can see, my voice is low, my voice is cracked because we're still, our celebration mode is still activated. I think this is the time for all well-meaning Edo people all over the world to come together. During the campaigns, he assassinated the character of Senator Monday Okpebolo. Some said, I can remember some of Obaseki's stooges said that Senator Okpebolo was a deaf and dumb until we proved them wrong. And when he went to all the campaigns and he said to them and started canvassing votes, people said, but this man, they said this man does not talk, that is deaf and dumb. And that could also, that again on its facts, expose the lies and fallacy of those PDP elements and characters. I think one thing that I believe Nigerians we must all call for, because we cannot put the blames of this country on the shoulders of the president. We all have a role to play. We all have a responsibility. And what is that responsibility? We must have leaders who should be responsible enough, and where issues and challenges come up in the country, they should be sincere to say, so for anybody to say INEC, I heard their agents, even when the elections results were collated, suddenly became an advocate of Manufacturing Association of Nigeria, and suddenly where Obaseki became a member of Manufacturing Association of Nigeria, every 5 minutes he jumps up to say that INEC has manufactured a result. But what is funny, you raise this. If you recall, 4 years back, Nigerians are not dumb. Obaseki participated in an election that was so engrossed in violence. They went to the then APC candidates' unit in Orion, Pastor Sagi Zeyamo. They wrote a figure again for him to suggest that he lost his unit. That is a village where Osagi was born, and they earlier allocated few votes to Osagi. Then INEC was the best. I can recall after that election, then the same outgoing governor now, Governor Obaseki, celebrated INEC to high heaven. But if it's not in his favor, INEC is bad. This same governor conducted local government elections few months back, and he wrote the results inside Government House in the office of the Secretary to State Government, suggesting that all the councillors, all the council chairmen, all won the election landslide, even in local governments where even PDP did not have representation. Is that not worrisome? But I'm not surprised, Yuri. If you recall, I'm sure like you have the introduction you have, I was one of those 14 members that the president always referred to as the Edo 14. The president is very passionate about us, the Edo 14. If the president is entering a flight and he hears Edo 14, he will stop his movement and say, Omo Mini, those are my children. Because the president is disturbed that someone cannot rape the democracy they struggled for. Obaseki raped the democracy in Edo State to the point he denied 14 members, 14 constituencies, 11 local government representation in the House. Which means in these last 4 years of his administration, 14 constituencies, 11 local governments did not have any representation in terms of governance. And so this same man had the effrontery now to point accusing fingers at someone else. As far as I'm concerned, like I said, the IGP rose to responsibility even when one of his men was killed. This victory today, I'm one first person who will say that I dedicate this victory after God to God, and after God, I dedicate this victory to Inspector Akon, who was killed and murdered in the land of Edo because of this election.
Indeed.
Inspector Akon was killed instead of expecting a governor to go to the press, to even take responsibility as the chief secretary of the state, to say, oh, no, he's not going to tolerate this level of barbaric act, and that it must be investigated, those behind the killing of a police officer. Rather, he did a twist and went into the media world. I use the word media because both the social media and all his social media influencers were there when the governor threatened that the IGP and the police commissioner are arresting these boys. And if they try what they tried last Thursday again, now he did not even say Edo will burn then, he said Nigeria will burn. Few days later was when he sponsored the End Bad Government protest in Edo State. I've never seen where a protest was organized, where protesters go and hire equipment worth 150 million naira, equipment to put in ring road, canvassing a bad government. Whereas he is the one who is the bad government in Edo, who have confiscated the palliative sent by the federal government to Edo people. Till now, the 20 trillions of rice sent to Edo people have grown wings. Edo people have not seen it. Till now, the little stipends meant for Edo people that is usually transferred to Edo state government treasuries, none of these people have received any of this money. If you are entering Benin, you are angry because once you are entering Benin City, coming in from Delta is like you are entering a village if the roads are bad. Coming in from Abuja is like you are entering a village. Coming in from Agbo, Asaba, the road is terrible. And we have a governor who keeps saying it's a federal government road. And he's not learning from his colleagues governors. And I'm happy. A young governors, I think these governors and many others, they should tutor him. I saw a video during our campaign We carried our phone and we went to every look and cranny, reminding Edo people, look at what Governor Zulum is doing in Maiduguri, lining up 300,000 bags of rice, maize, millet, asking people, they really, they downtrodden. Carry your bag of rice, go out to the exit gate. He supervised it himself wearing t-shirts. He lived by example. But no, Edo, what do you have? You have a man who wears a double-breasted suit. Every Friday, he's on his way to Lagos to go to a Ikoyi club and threaten and boast to his friends. Do you realize you are talking to the governor of Edo State? Do you realize you are talking to the governor of Edo State? You must address me properly. That's what he leaves every Friday to go and do in Lagos, and does not care about the well-being of his people.
All right,
and that is why he has no empathy of any sort.
Okay.
We are so, listen, we are rejoicing, Yuri. As a matter of fact, when your correspondent told me he wanted you to have me, I said, please, I'm still in the rejoicing mood, because God has answered the prayers of Edo people.
You know, much was made
14 members were...
Much was made of
yes, go ahead, please.
Much was made of the role of money in this election by the opposition.
Yes.
And of course, other commentators have said, when you come to that area, perhaps regrettably, it's a Nigerian thing. All parties were involved. Yes. Did that phenomenon sort of cancel each other out?
When PDP accuses of sharing money, and we also caught them red-handed sharing money. Now, I'm sure the only lamentation they can lament, now I can see where money was shared in my center. In my center, money was not shared. I won my center. I won my unit. And I can attest to it that before the election, a day before, I had a meeting with voters. I sent out text messages telling them, look, I will appreciate you after the election to a treat of reception dinner, after which we can marry. But whereas there were some of their people who were arrested in my center sharing 3,000. So what PDP is lamenting today, let me tell you, is a clear case of, whereas they were sharing 3,000 in some centers, they were sharing 15,000 in some centers. In the upper center, like my local government already, you see them telling their agents to share 15,000. Those guys, of course, will VAT the 15,000, share 3,000, and this is the last one they can get from the man before he leaves. And so you cannot blame them. So they were the ones sharing money. They could accuse anybody. But if they say we have outspent them, I will not be a coward to deny that. Yes, let him be the one crying, as he's crying wolf now. Because for us, we do not believe that we need to start bringing back old ones. Like I said to you in 2020, the amount of money between him and his criminal, his elements, some elements within even our party and his party, they came to this state to do. If you have an idea, if you play some of those tapes, Nigerians would not even want to believe it happened in Edo. What happened in 2020? So for us, if the money factor which he has talked about is not something I would say today, they are the ones who were busy spending money here and there because they mopped up. There was no cash anywhere in Benin. They mopped up all the cash in all the banks in Benin because he has this character and he has this penchant for threatening everybody to achieve anything. So threatening all the banks of shutting down their facilities if they don't bring out all the cash in their facility to government house. Okay. So the amount of money that was moving out of government house 2 nights before the elections is amazing. So but for us, yes.
Sorry, I was going to ask you, as you know, the opponents, the opposition is probably the best word now. The opposition to the soon-to-be ruling party in Edo State, but ruling party nationally, they've made much of all of these issues. But when you, what do the results say to you? Because look, the winner, Monday Kwebolo, Senator of the Federal Republic, he polled 291,000 votes, 291,667 across 11 local government areas. The closest runner-up, the PDP candidate, 274 across 7 local governments. And of course, there's Olumide Akpata, who scored 22,000, no local government in which he scored a majority. The figures alone, well, for the moment, just leaving the very distant third of Olumide Akpata, between the first two, 291,000 to 247,000, there's a story in there. To that extent, one can say that the current ruling party in Edo State, they fought they ran a good race. It was a closely run race. So for them to now be saying that results were prepared, they were written, and all of that. I suppose, well, that's the business of the courts, to sort out with evidence.
Let me help you. Don't bother. Do not waste your energy in some of these allegations, counter allegations. One thing I can tell you, for the ruling party, and precisely the governor is from the same local government with me, Oredo local government. The governor is from Oredo East, while I'm from Oredo West. What the governor lacks, he has no persuasive skills in politics. I recall there's a word Lucky Benedict always used when he was governor. He said, it's not the amount of people you kill in the course of electioneering or in the course of elections that makes you a good politician, but the amount of people you are able to persuade through persuasive abilities, that you can at least speak to their conscience, that you can vote to your side and make you a good politician. You don't necessarily have to put a gun on someone's head that if you're not going to support me, I'm going to destroy your house. Like he did as a governor. He pulled down, destroyed people's hotels, destroyed people's houses, seized people's farms, revoked people's CFO for their farms, all in the name of just trying to coerce everybody to toe his line, like he did with the 14 House of Assembly members. But that is fine. For me, the governor lost his local government. He lost Oredo in the last National Assembly election. The governor does not have a House of Rep member representing him in the House of Representatives. He has Labour representing him. The governor does not have, a senator representing him in the Senate, and that same senator is from Oredo. From the 7 local governments from Edo South, the senator is from Oredo. So the senator defeated him in his local government. The House of Rep guy defeated him in his local government, Labour. Come to the House of Assembly. The House of Assembly, the Labour guy took Oredo West. That is the person who succeeded me. I became my successor. The other constituency, Oredo East, where he comes from, the Labour candidate also won, but he used every government apparatus to beat up that boy and harassed him and chased the boy out of Benin, and went and wrote the result and forcefully got INEC to accept that result. And that is why today he declares to say he has one PDP representing him in a big premier local government like Oredo. What am I trying to establish? If he is the one who probably cheated Olu Akpata of the Labour Party. Because before the election, we have done our statistics. But for the first time, APC being fully prepared, the legacy party of PDP, who have actually been a pain on our neck over time in Oredo, have now come to join us. And so that was what swelled up our votes. That's why the jubilation in Oredo this time around, outside the National Assembly and the presidential election, was spontaneous. Because everybody said, at last we got Oredo back. If anybody who must be a governor in Edo must win Oredo, any president that must win Oredo in any election, win a presidency in any election must win Oredo. So by the grace of God, whatever it is now that has happened, the figures are there. The Kubauha, they did everything. They beat up our people. They went attacking our youth leaders, our ward chairmen in so many wards in the Kubauha, just to make sure they boost up they shoot up their numbers from the Kubauha. There was nothing they didn't do to make sure they took the Kubauha by force. That figure they brought is a figure, of course, we're also going to contend with them in the courts. So nobody has a monopoly on the courts. So the only man I sympathize with in all of this is that's when Udalo who just came visiting, and they re-rolled him into thinking he can retire all of us from politics overnight.
Okay. Tell you what.
I'm too young to be retired. Yes.
Okay, I hear there's a caller. I was going to go to break, but I hear there's a caller. So let me take the caller. Good morning. Thank you for calling in. Who's on the line?
It's George, Uncle Yore. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Okay.
And good morning to the guest.
Yes, indeed.
I'm happy.
Good morning, my brother. How are you?
He has introduced himself. Uncle Yore, this is one of the victims of Obaseki's high-handedness and victimization, vindictiveness. You heard when he said he is one of the 14 members of House of Assembly that Obaseki sidelined with his, his way of doing things.
Yes.
For the whole of their term, he didn't allow them to sit. That's just an example for you. Uncle Yori, there's no need making these people who are crying wolf to, sort of publicizing them. They are known for it. When their party won Osun State with high rev that was, controversial, they praised INEC to the high heavens, that it was free and fair. Yaga Africa was one of those who was doing the praise singing. But if it doesn't favor them, it is rigged. It all sort of things, all sort of allegations will be here and there. That is what you are seeing. I think we should just allow a child that is beaten should be allowed to cry. If Obaseki wants to be relevant after his exit from office, he should humble himself and plead. I can tell you, Uncle Yori, if that man goes to the street without security protection, he will not get back home. You can ask your guest who is in the state there. He will not, if he goes out without security protection, he will not get back to his house. If he actually won that election, where are the people that voted for him? Where are the majority who voted for him? Why are they not protesting? It is those who won that we are seeing in Edo State rejoicing every here and there. For me, he has, in fact, he should be praying that he should be able to visit Edo State after he has handed over. Because what he did by taking my offer to the court, we as the children of that state, we will not forgive him. He should just be praying for forgiveness rather than protesting that he won an election that he did not win.
All right, then.
I was monitoring the election on Piori.
Okay.
These so-called NGOs who are proteges of politicians, they think we don't know them, parading themselves as observers, but they are collecting money from politicians.
Yes. From
the highest bidder, that's what they do. And they're telling us that yaga this, yaga that. It was not free and fair. What are the yardsticks for determining integrity of an election that they brought up that made them to come to that conclusion?
Indeed.
I don't know.
Well, thank you very much.
I'm sorry to use that word.
As you know, the APC has actually responded to Yaga, calling the reports, a quote subjective report, and it was the same yesterday when we on our guest that Yaga had come up with what it had come up with as an observer. I tell you what, we'll continue this conversation. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. Please do stay with us.
Every second, every minute, every hour, and every day, time doesn't just tick away. It's a countdown to political decisions that shape our world.
This country must move.
Imagine the impact these decisions have on our lives. Some are consequential, others may leave us intrigued or baffled.
You will have no better friend and partner than Nigeria.
Step in and feel the frenzy like never before. Join me every weekday for an hour of fact-finding interviews where questions cut to the core.
How would you say your administration has fared in these sectors?
I will dig in to get to the heart of issues, from local politics to global insight. Join me as I unearth the power plays, jaw-dropping revelations, and the unfiltered truth. This isn't just politics, it's unraveling the stories that matter. Brace yourself for Politics Tonight every weekday at 8 p.m., where every decision echoes along the corridors of our lives. Politics Tonight, only on TVC News.
Come back, and our guest is Honorable Chris Okabian. He's a former member, Edo State House of Assembly. Thank you very much, Honorable Okabian, for being with us. We have a call. Good morning. Thank you. Who's on the line? Oh, I just lost that call. Talking about Yiaga Africa. Of course, as I was saying, the APC has responded to them, saying that, it's not better than the subjective report, and APC has actually accused them of attempting to usurp the legitimate role of INEC as the agency responsible for actually pronouncing the results. Yiaga, I don't know, do you think they went way beyond the pale in their utterances? Because they seem to, as the APC has said through its spokesperson, that you're trying to usurp the role of INEC. It is INEC that has the responsibility here to tell us who has won the election, not Yiaga Africa or Yiaga anywhere for that matter.
As a matter of fact, Huyori, thank you so much. I want to thank our caller who called in, who seems to have at least been following the events, unfolding events in Edo. Now, I would not have belaboured myself with the so-called Yiaga Africa, but rather I think this calls for an immediate forensic, I repeat, screening of these so-called NGOs that we have in Nigeria. Some of them, these are the people creating tension in this country. When government is doing well, they never get to see it. But the day they go gas to cook, they are the first to inform Nigerians that, oh, be on your guard, oh, there's going to be fuel increase. And you begin to wonder. Now, also, I'm using this medium to also call on Mr. President and the National Assembly, the Senate, to invite INEC to carefully and thoroughly scrutinize those they registered as observers. Now, the Yiaga Africa, who is busy coming on screen to exercise the functions of INEC, I did not see them in my local government, not even in my local government coalition center, not in my ward coalition center, not even in my unit. I did not see them. It's convenient for them to go to where the sitting governor is going to vote. Some of them were in the entourage of Mr. Governor. I saw in TVC. I saw one person wearing that badge in TVC in the governor's entourage. In the governor's entourage. Indeed. Whereas they were expected to go to every unit and have a representative there who should feed Nigerians of the on-the-spot assessment of the election. But rather what they enjoy doing is go to the government house, tea or coffee, and they serve them tea and coffee. And once election is done, we tell them, okay, meet so-so person, meet the chief of staff. We call it Ekpego. Your Ekpego is ready. And they go there, collect, and they go to television.
Well, let's not go there because, you weren't party to that. Maybe it is what you heard. But someone else...
yes, go ahead.
Someone else is on the line. Hello, thank you for holding on. Who is on the line?
This is Jeffrey.
Sorry, say that again, please.
This is Jeffrey.
Jeffrey. Good morning, Jeffrey.
Yes.
Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Mr.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah. What actually happened there? Why is the back wailing up and down? If it favors him, INEC did well. If it doesn't favor him, it's otherwise. There is no way he was going to win that election because he fought with almost everybody. In fact, not everybody. He fought everybody in Benin.
But there are those
then you want to win an election.
Jeffrey,
the only person I can find.
Jeffrey, some will say that it was relatively close, 247,000 to 291,000.
The vote is you saw that it's not because of the Obaseki. It was all because of Aswe, not because of Obaseki.
Aswe, yes, that is it. Yeah.
Because he failed woefully. I think this would serve as an example to politicians, to political parties that goes about to look for technocrats. Who are technocrats? Technocrats that are not on ground in the state. They are somewhere else you stay in Lagos, you do everything in Lagos, and then when you get there, you start forming professor, that you are in charge, you are the board, you are the board of director of a company, blah, blah, blah. When you get there, you start doing things on your own. Who is it to start having issues with the Oba? Because he feels his name is Obaseki, then he sees himself as Oba also. He's joking.
All right, then.
He has just started what he can't finish.
Well, thank you very much.
Just make sure
the
day he hands over, his passport should be collected, because it won't be easy for him. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jeffrey, for calling in. I mean, there are so many things that you can factor into this election. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Uncle Yuri, let me go throw some lights to what Jeffrey just said.
Okay.
When, it's rather unfortunate. The guy just deceived Oshomole for 8 years. That he was a technocrat. But when Oshomole was busy hailing him that he was a technocrat, and Obaseki can go to where the likes of Henry Maseka, Bofe Boyo, and what's his name, Owawokpata, can you go to where these men are sitting? These are old. I can gladly hit my chest to say, from a door who are technocrats. These are people who sit down, they put a business plan on the table, and they'll give you a projection of that business plan. And 6 months to the end of that projection, they'll start telling you, here we've already achieved 76%. Here we're already on 86%. That is the projection. That's the projection plan. Obaseki and Aswai would have succeeded in deceiving the people with their suits. Because when Oshomole was governor, Obaseki was chairman of the economic team, and Aswai Wodawo was his deputy. When Oshomole was busy jumping up around inside, I'm going to do assessment of the project ongoing. They were busy on the computer, moving money from one point to the other. Did that make them feel that they were more intelligent than any other person in those states? When they started assassinating the character of our governor-elect, Senator Mondo Okpebholo, I dare to remind, in one of my interviews, I dare to remind Obaseki that a foolish man can never make 1 million. Oshomole is the one who brought Obaseki to landlines. Obaseki was a stock speculator in stock market. He was not even a member of the stock market. You know what I mean? Let me tell you, and I dare you to challenge me in court. You know what I mean by stock speculator? He was not even qualified to enter inside the stock market hall, but rather he hangs around the door and waiting for who will tell him that Nigerian beauty stock is good today. He will run, this one is sugar is good today. And he runs to our great brother and son from the north, Aliko Dangote. One tell, Alaji, the stock for this one is good today. Let's put money here. That's the best he could do. He did not understand what politics means. He did not understand even the definition of democracy that Tinubu and so many great leaders of this country fought for, including Wole Soyinka. He doesn't understand even the meaning of democracy, that democracy is the government of the people for the people and by the people. But rather, what did he do? Democracy is Obaseki, democracy is Obaseki, and democracy is Obaseki in Edo. That's what will suffer. Like Jeffrey said, a man who, as we speak, in the last 9 months, has confiscated the allocation of the Benin Traditional Council. How do you describe such a man? A man who, even when local government have gotten their autonomy now, as we speak, he uses his phone, threatening the chairman, I will send you to jail if you are not here in the next 30 minutes. When the allocation comes, this council chairman, they will run to government house and go and meet there and show him the allocation. And he decides which local government is going to use to operate. A man who goes and destroys markets where people are selling things. A man who went, destroys Central Hospital, all in the name of building a museum.
And all
a man.
I get the point you're making. All of this factored into the election.
I'm going to make the list point of Guriori. Please, this one you must hear this. For 26 months, AAU staffs and lecturers, when the winner was declared for this election, I will send you a video. The whole of AAU, it went on fire, jubilation.
Okay.
Because an emperor is gone at last.
Okay. Let me bring in another caller who has been holding on. Good morning. Who's on the line?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning,
Okuyeri.
Good morning, sir. Who is this?
Yeah, my name is Mr. Shaibu from Bariga.
Shaibu from Bariga.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Okuyeri.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, my member, my president.
Yes, Honorable Okaibe.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Openly,
Yes, sir.
thank God that I'm able to meet up for the court this morning. You see, I said it yesterday that when you send a child to go and learn a work, you pray that the master he will teach him and he will know how to do that work more than the organ that teaching the work. Look, Obaseki coming to Edo State during the time Oshokore bring him on board to come and be the governor of Edo State. Oshokore done everything to bring him up. What did he do? End of the day, where Oshokore stop, he's supposed to be continued there. And look at the whole entire Edo State, the local government in Edo State. Obaseki has not done anything in Edo State. Nothing. No road construction. Nothing. I come from Akoko Edo. When this election is coming, I have to transport people from here to Edo State to Akoko Edo precisely with my own money to go and vote my people, to go and vote this very particular model of because we know that man. Since he's been in the Senate, he has been done a lot of jobs in Asia. He paid visit in Isako. He tore up in Edo State. So what I'm trying to figure out is that Obaseki should stop crying. He should just come openly and apologize to Edo State. We indigenous of Edo State to apologize that, okay, I made a mistake. So that everything will calm down. You should not just take the election of the thing as a do or die, because as he said, do or die, but that you do, you die.
Yes.
How can it tell the whole Edo State, this kind of a word? Say if you do, you die. Right. We totally see him like, when Oshomore bring him on board, we let him know that, okay, this is where you start and move Edo State forward. What did he do? He turned around and poured everything on the ground. We are not happy with that. We are not happy at all.
All right.
So,
Mr. Shaibu, thank you very much.
This message go to Obaseki. He should not be crying. He should not be blaming anybody. He caused him by.
All right, then. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Shaibu, calling in. Thank you very much. You know, and all of these things, Honorable Okaiben was saying the same thing, that quite frankly, the hand that the governor, His Excellency, handed, because that is all he could do, really, to campaign for his candidate, was not the best of hands. So that point has been made. But what do you make, Honorable Chris, what do you make of Labour Party's Obi referring to the process, the election in the place as state capture, in Obi's words? The president has demonstrated, has spoken in a balanced way, he has congratulated the winner, he has advised them to be humble in victory. If there are any areas of disagreement, gentlemen, be sportsmanlike, go to the courts and all of that. So which one, how do you evaluate Peter Obi's state capture commentary? Did he want it to go the way the presidential election went, which has been explained by a lot of political commentators?
Yeah. Gary, let me tell you that this is laughable. I told myself at some point, the moment my father, the president of this great nation, was sworn in, I would refer to him as our father. Please don't be surprised. So you don't say this is hypocritic. The 14 members, the president, is because of the 14 members. If you remember, when the president did a press conference rebuking Obaseki and telling people not to vote for Obaseki, because he cannot benefit from the democracy that was built by people, and he's now working against that democracy. So that's why we refer to him as Alpha. Now, Peter Obi, that you talk about now, is a child of circumstance. And he's only, the more he's talking, after every failed attempt politically, the more he's exposing his failure, even in managing his private business or small nucleus family. A man who cannot manage cousins, brothers, stepbrothers, cannot manage a local government or manage a political party. As we speak today, why should I take anything that Obi is going to say with a pinch of salt when, as we speak today, Labour Party, who gave him a platform to run for presidency, he has divided the party into 3 parts. A man who could not reconcile the candidates, all the candidates who came together in that election under Labour Party. A man who, the moment he lost the election, I don't even know who is their national chairman today. In some quarters, Aburo still claims he's the national chairman. Some of that quarters, one man from Lagos, one of my Yoruba brothers, says he's the chairman. And as a matter of fact, who is he leading? As we speak today, the constitution of most of I don't belong to the Labour Party, but I think a friend of mine did mention to me, within the constitution of their party today, the leader of Labour Party is Alex Oti, not Peter Obi. So he doesn't even have the right to speak on Edo election matter. What he has succeeded in doing, he visited his friend Obaseki. He visited his friend Obaseki while he came to campaign. Uncle Yori, how do you reconcile? A man came to campaign for Oluwapata. A night before, he was found drinking whiskey with Obaseki in Gold Mine inside of Mayors. And the next day, he went to Ring Road to go and be dancing. Oludi, who's my guy? How do you reconcile these two situations? You were Labour, you were PDP in the night. Then in the afternoon, you became Labour Party. I'm not surprised. He was on the same ticket with Atiku in 2019? Was the same ticket with Atiku under PDP. Now, 2023, he left Atiku and told Atiku, Oga, I don't want to fly with you again on the same ticket. Me, I want to go and fly my own flight. And he want to fly his own flight under Labour. And for us as APC today, I give this to our political father and the father of modern day politics, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the chess player. He played the chess. You see, politics is not rocket science. It's chess. It's, the way we play draft under the tree. You play draft to make sure you get to where you're going to get your king.
Okay.
So, in an election, Peter Obi, he had lost, and he's coming to speak on a dual election. He should manage his loss with wherever he's sleeping in. He should leave Oluwapata alone to go and think over what he has spent and see how he can retrieve some of his money from those he gave money to.
We're going to have to leave it there.
I have predicted the election.
We're going to have to leave it there. Well, I want to thank you very much. Former member, Edo State House, Honorable Chris Okaibe.
God bless you.
Thank you very much. And
thank you so much.
That's our program.
God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir. That's our program today.
It was my pleasure being your guest.